My question comes from a recent talk you gave. You spoke of your horses always ranking first and then linking when they relate. Am always conscious to not project rank before linking. I just want to link. That's the HSP way. We tend to just go for linking. Ranking is the tendency to put yourself above others, to pull for and strive for leadership. Now, putting yourself above others, it can be negative, and I bet you every highly sensitive person has experienced being ranked in a way that did not feel good or healthy. But if you think about it, putting yourself first is another meaning of ranking. It's really about self-care and getting your needs met. And this is something that, because we're so tuned into linking, we often forgo ourselves. And it's not exactly the same as codependency, but since I'm a codependency expert as well, and an expert codependent, I can tell you that all that people pleasing, it's totally fine to take care of others and to use your superpower of sensitivity to notice what others need and help them. The time it is not okay is when you do it instead of helping yourself. That is just absolutely critical for highly sensitive people. So Elaine Aron talks about ranking in the service of linking. And that's what I was talking about in this other webinar with the horses, that they figure out where they are in the hierarchy. They get really clear about it. And then they're such just a well-oiled machine as a family. And they help each other stay alive. It's quite amazing. And for the moms out there in a horse family, the top ranker is always the lead mare. And maybe for the partners of women out there, it might be a good thing to remember. But the lead mare has to control the social structure of the herd. But we can all be lead mare. We don't really pay that much attention to the sex of the horses or the humans, because what's really important is the person who can be clear about leading with an open, soft heart. That's the person who's ranking effectively. Now, there's also linking in the service of ranking, which is what I think you were talking about, Monica, too, that, being in your book, you talk a lot about how the leader needs to really hear and have empathy and listen and have space for their employees or their staff to have their own experiences and their own feelings. And that is linking in the service of ranking. And I think that's probably where the HSP is the most skilled.
Well, I hope so. I hope that's part we can bring to the table. People react differently. Some people, when they're pushed in the corner, cry. Some, have tears, big emotions. Some people get pushed in the corner and they become a dragon. So it's like, everyone responds differently to pressure situations.
Right.
And knowing yourself and knowing how you respond, you can set up self-care protocols for yourself in terms of, you have a big meeting coming up. Afterwards, you're not going to have 4 other meetings. You're going to have some space where you can decompress and have some downtime, so you can process that meeting you just went through. So it's those things like self-care. You're able to come back. I'm able to come back. I can speak for myself. Come back to my 100% self in the next meeting or the next time on Zoom I have a client, or the next thing I have in front of me.